then J.D. Salinger died. And Diane Sawyer's talking about how wonderful he was, that he wrote books and put them in a vault so nobody could see them. And I told myself, this is my kind of guy. So I went down and I bought Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. And I thought I was going to like that book because I'd never heard of the guy. And I said, everybody thinks the book's pretty good. He's nobody, so it must be a pretty good book. So I started reading it, and I read a little bit, and I put it down. I started thinking about it, and I read some more. And it took me about a day and a half to finish that book. And I wasn't ready for it to end when it was over. But I started telling myself, you know, if this is a good book, if Catcher in the Rye is a good book, I can do that. It's nothing but a guy talking to himself, really is what it is. And I said, I can do that. And so I started writing my memoir, and I started remembering, and I would encourage all of you to write your memoir.
What do we leave behind? You know, as long as someone remembers us and says a prayer for us, we live that long, but that's just a couple of generations.
People, your listeners will say, well, some of them will say, well, you know, I don't have anything to leave behind, but they do. They need to write their memoirs. Mm-hmm. Even if they write it out in pencil and paper. Send it to the Library of Congress, date it and sign your name, and put everything you know about yourself in that. Because 100 or 500 years from now, that's going to be an important document.
Yeah, well, look at, you know, the stuff from medieval times, what they had for breakfast.
That's right, and we all have so much to offer.
You say, can you repeat your what you've chosen to be your epitaph? I wish I could have lived to do the things I was
attributed to. You know, it's out of my hands now. I mean, that treasure chest is part of a historic document that, I mean, the Rosetta Stone was buried 2,000 years. And I said in my book that, don't you know, the guy that carved that thing is proud of himself 2,000 years later that it was found. Yeah. So that's the way I look at that. Societies have had fetishes. You know, they're called different things, but with American Indians, there are a lot of different fetishes. And the fetish is not worth anything unless you believe in it. But if you believe in it, it can be awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
The most primitive tribes, even in New Guinea and the Amazon jungle, they all have fetishes of one kind or another. Very important. And all religions today have fetishes. They don't call them that, but that's what they are. And it's important that we believe.
And my academic work was in shamanism. So if you're in the Amazon and the sorcerer, the medicine man, comes around, plays his rattle and chants, and then pulls a feather out of your ear saying the enemy sorcerer put it there, and then you are well, does it matter whether it is objectively true or not if you are well? That's the goal.
It doesn't matter what it is. It only matters what you think it is.
Yeah.
And what it can do for you and what you can offer with it. Very important.